I think it's so important to realize as educators that your classroom, it's really the training ground for their future work. So you give them the opportunity to practice the soft skills that they will need that are going to be so valuable in the very near future. Are you giving them what they need? The idea that AI is going to fix everything, take everyone's jobs. No, it can't take our jobs as humans. It can't care. It can't provide empathy. It has a hard time doing the connection part of communication. AI can solve a lot of problems, but again, it leaves that human factor out that has to be taken into account. Students in the future, no matter what their job is, they will still be solving problems in the future, I promise you. Hey, teachers, welcome to the Lead, Serve, Teach podcast, where we explore the intersection of leadership, education, and personal growth. I'm your host, D.Paul Miller, and I'm so glad that you've joined me here for another fantastic conversation and a little bit of real talk as we are finishing out the fourth episode in our series on the impact of AI in education. And as I always say, a little bit deeper behind the scenes look at the importance of what we as educators are doing in the classroom to help our students in the future of this world, and a world where AI is going to be a big part of what they're doing day to day, and really teaching our students the value of soft skills. It's what we've been focusing on here for the past episodes here at the Lead, Serve, Teach podcast. And today I'm really excited with this final one. It's something that's kind of interweaved into all of the episodes a little bit when I talk about this idea of collaboration. Collaboration in this hybrid world that we live in. We're living in this world of remote tools and hybrid teams and virtual meetings, and it changed everything and how businesses operate, how education happened, and what has transpired over the last 5 to 10 years, I would say, is a new normal, and that collaboration is key in education. And so I think it's so important that as we as educators, that we must allow our students to learn how to collaborate across cultures, across different types of devices. It's a very multifaceted idea, this idea of collaborating in the real world. And I think soft skills like adaptability and accountability and humility are the glue that are really going to help our students put everything together in terms of being successful in this new world. There's this ancient African proverb, I love it. It says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think that's what is really going to formulate some of the foundations of what business, what the world is going to look like. These human factors, these soft skills, what we've been talking about on here with communication, with empathy, with connecting, those are the items that are going to be so valuable in the future. The amazing part too with this, when you start delving into a little bit of the social emotional learning and looking at what our students need for their mental health, when students feel like they're part of a team, that belonging increases, the isolation decreases, and it's critical for our emotional health as adults. We long for the same thing. We want to be part of a team. I mentioned in the last episode this idea of collective teacher efficacy. And it's something that all the experts in the world of education, John Hattie and Doug Fisher comes to mind. Some of these experts, some of these people have been teaching on this and researching this idea of collective teacher efficacy. It's kind of a case in point of what we need to provide for our students. Collective teacher efficacy is this idea that, when teachers come together and they all agree to the fact that they believe that they can actually change the outcome for students in a positive way, that they can come together and develop professionally, develop themselves as a group, as a team, and there's a synergy that happens, and we become more than just each of our individual efforts when we work together as a team, when we collaborate as a team, when we do common planning, when we come together and set the same ideas, the same goals, when we determine in teams what our most essential standards are for our students to learn, when we use kind of the professional learning team mentality, that all kind of foments collective teacher efficacy. And at the foundation of that, really, it has a lot to do with the teachers in a specific group, in a specific school, feeling like they're part of a team and that they belong. And it also gives them confidence in moving forward with a very hard task in front of them. Why don't we provide that for our students? This idea that they're part of a team, that as a group together, they're more than just the sum of their parts, and that they can find synergy and go further together, as that ancient proverb says. I think that's one of the most important things we can do in terms of preparing our students for the future. Collaboration really is going to change the how in pretty much every job of the future. I'll say that one more time. AI will change the what, but collaboration changes the how of any task and any job in the future. And so it's so important for, again, as educators, that we provide the opportunities to collaborate in a real way for our students. We need to build that into our daily processes. And it also helps them also learn the content at a higher level. It helps them master the learning, master the skills at a faster and higher level than if we weren't collaborating, if they were just working on it alone. We need to be intentional about building in the idea of being adaptable and providing accountability for the groups. We'll be willing to open our ears and listen to different opinions and ideas. It's one of the best things I like to do in a classroom is come up with a problem that needs to be solved. And then, divvy out your groups, whatever that looks like. And then you give your students roles. One of the worst things you can do is simply group your students together and give them a task and say, okay, you guys do this. Here's the product that should come out at the end. That's going to lead to typically all the bad things that are talked about whenever students say they don't like doing group work. There's a big difference between group work and real collaboration. When you look at the business world and you think about collaboration, well, everyone naturally has a role to play. There's the CEO, there's a secretary, maybe there's a CFO, the money guy, and then there's a manager of some sort. Maybe each one of them has a specific role to play in a meeting. They're coming together. Hey, we have a problem with this. The CEO is presenting the problem. The secretary is sitting there keeping everyone on track. Maybe they're the timekeeper. Maybe they're the note taker, whatever it may be. Then there's these other important people that are looking at the business scenario. They're looking at the finances that are involved. They have natural roles. So to go into our classroom, I think it's so important to realize as educators that your classroom, it's really the training ground for their future work. What you're doing in your classroom really going to help your students in the future. Are you giving them the soft skills? Are you giving the opportunity to practice the soft skills that they will need, that are going to be so valuable in the very near future because of the implications of AI? Are you giving them what they need? Are you providing the training ground for their future work in your classroom? And that's why it's so important that when we give collaborative opportunities, not group work, collaborative opportunities, that we are assigning group roles. And here's the thing, you need to have these groups working and you need to make sure that the roles are actually changing each and every week. That the students are role playing, if you will. They might be a facilitator one week. That same student might be the note taker the next. Maybe they're the challenger the next week, and then they're the encourager. They need to get experience in being each of those role players as they do the collaborative work. They need to get the experience of solving problems. I think that's something, again, in the future, the idea that AI is going to fix everything, take everyone's jobs. No, no, it can't take our jobs as humans. It can't care. It can't provide empathy. It has a hard time doing the connection part of communication. AI can solve a lot of problems, but again, it leaves that human factor out that has to be taken into account. Students in the future, no matter what their job is, they will still be solving problems in the future. I promise you. So that's a great start. Once they've completed that task, it's important to debrief, and not just debrief on the product that was produced, but to debrief and ask some of those metacognitive questions. Hey, what worked? What worked in your group? What didn't work in your group? What didn't work as you were collaborating? And also start asking that important question: what soft skill helped you the most? It may be different for every single student in that group, which is perfectly fine. Sometimes there may be one that they're all focused on. That's perfectly fine. The key is have them thinking about using these soft skills in the collaborative atmosphere to learn at a higher level, to solve problems with higher level solutions. That's what we need our students to be able to do in the future. And also understand that it's important for them to be accountable. It's important for them to take 100% responsibility for themselves and their effort that they're giving and for the product of the collaborative group. We need to make sure we are fomenting that in our classes on a daily basis, that they're part of this team and together we are better. Together we will go farther. Thanks for joining me here for this series. I hope that it helped you. I hope it gave you some tangible things that you could take and use in your classroom every day to help our students develop the soft skills that will be so valuable in the future as AI continues to progress in education, changes really what the future is going to look like. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Those soft skills are going to be the most important currency of the future. Let's make sure that we are providing the training ground for our students in our classroom to be successful in their future jobs, no matter what that may look like, no matter what AI changes happen in the future for them. We're going to provide the soft skills that will keep them always on that successful track. So remember, in the age of AI, humanity wins. Thanks for joining me here. I'm D.Paul Miller. If you've gotten anything valuable out of these podcasts, out of these episodes, please make sure you go and subscribe. Go to my website, heyteachersdon'tquit.com, and you can download any of the free classroom tools that are there. You can grab a copy of my book, Hey Teachers Don't Quit. Remember, you're not just a teacher, you're a leader, you're a change maker. So keep striving, keep inspiring, and don't ever quit. I'm D. Paul Miller. Thanks for joining me here. I'll see you at the next episode.